So you're thinking about starting a business, but you don't know what industry you want to go into. I would say this is probably the easiest decision that you're making is in this journey because it may come from an existing skill set. You may be a bricklayer, you may work for a construction company, you may be getting paid already for that service. Now, if you think about it and look at it from a different angle, you've already sold yourself to somebody and getting paid for that service. So what's the difference between you being employed by somebody and getting paid for it, or housing it in a business, having three other bricklayers working with you and everybody getting paid for that service, but you also getting paid for their time as well? So it's like you're earning commission for other people, for finding other people work. Now, that I would say is obviously more beneficial because it's yours. You can diversify with different customers, which gives you some security over your income. And then you're also got scalability, so you can actually employ more bricklayers over time as you get busier, and then you scale that business up and you earn more money to make you. It basically allows you to come off the tools and then focus on growing the company. Um, so if you have a skill, definitely a good place to start if you're setting up a business. Now, there are other ways. So it could be an opportunity that's been presented to you from a conversation that you've had where there is a potential contract in place or open to somebody that has that business offering. Now, you could set that up and you could then jump on that opportunity. Do you have any knowledge of that industry? I don't know. Can you partner with somebody that can help you get started? That might be an option. The other thing is learning a new skill. Now, it's the hardest way to do it because, if you've got no knowledge on the industry and you're entering that industry as a business, then you have no choice but to keep pursuing it because you don't want to get involved in something or as committed to something like a business that you're not going to be, you're not going to be carrying past 6 months, because what's the point? You're wasting time. You need to earn money, and the quickest way to earn money is based on something you already know. Now, I've learned this the hard way because I'd say the companies that I've been involved in, I didn't really have any industry knowledge, and I learned as I went along. Now, this resulted in a long period of time of not being profitable. It probably took Cloud Dolphin was probably 2 years before it became profitable. Now, you can probably shorten that time just by jumping on opportunities rather than, setting up a business and learning that industry as you go. So I would always say the biggest thing to learn when setting up a business is sales, because if you already work in sales, you could probably turn your hand to any industry because it's just then finding the service that you need to sell. You already know the sales process. You might know how to pick up the phone, you know how to cold call, you know how to do lead generation, and you can put a customer into the pipeline, take them down that road, and then make a sale at the end. Now, the conversion rates and everything else vary in different industries. You might get some customers that might sign up on the day. They may be in need of that service. There might not be many people providing that service, and you're there to catch that customer, and they might sign up same day. Now, some industries, higher ticket items or big decisions for businesses like software and things like that, they may take 3 months to sign off. They might need to have in-house meetings. These are the things that you need to look at really. Is if you know how to do sales, you can just keep pushing customers into the pipeline. As soon as that pipeline gets warm, customers start to tip, they start to close, and then as long as you keep feeding that pipeline, you get a consistent feed of new customers or new business. Um, Now, if these are high ticket items, great, because you're going to make a lot of profit on those items. Now, but if they're subscription based items, you have consistent revenue every month, really good. But then low ticket items, I would definitely advise against that. So if you're doing like drop shipping or something like that, or trying to do drop shipping, because seems to be the Instagram feed business at the moment. Um, they're quite low ticket items potentially. I mean, there probably is high ticket items, but the average is ordering something from the east. You make a small margin. It gets shipped directly from the warehouse to the customer. The lead time on that product getting to the customer is weeks. Can take weeks sometimes. So that's bad. It looks bad for your business because you've got a delay. You want to get that customer, satisfied with the product straight away. Next day delivery if you can. And you only make a small margin on each product. Now, if you're a customer and I don't know, you're looking for a hairbrush, how many hairbrushes are you going to buy in a year? You might buy one, two, maybe, if it breaks. how many of those customers would you need to feed into your pipeline to be able to make a good turnover, to make profit, to be able to allow you to do this as a full-time job? It would be a lot. It'd be a lot of marketing every day. You'd have to be, doing videos, trying to win new business, trying to get your products in front of everybody. Some people are really good at this, but they might have one good product a year. They might make £100,000 on one product, but then all the other products may fail. It's not really sustainable. So you want to pick something that you can get a sustainable income from. So skills are definitely the way forward, and services, skill services, software as a service, these sort of things where you can build up a consistent revenue stream, build up a large customer base where you can keep going back to for more work. And the security of that income is so important, because there's no point in having a big income one month and having nothing the next month, because how are you going to be able to control that over a year to be able to grow a business? What if you get staff? How are you going to keep that income sustainable so that you can support staff to help you with growing the business? These are really important things, but again, sales is the most important, because if you've got no income coming into the business, all the other stuff's irrelevant anyway. You're not going to be worried about taxes if you've got no revenue. Not going to be worried about, balancing the books when, the only money that's going into it is directors' loans. It makes no sense. So learning sales is so important. Also, how saturated is that market? If you're going into an industry where anybody can do it, then, it's likely that you'll be one of many, and it's going to be more difficult to win as a new company as well, to win business from somebody who's already established in that industry. You can obviously do that. It can work, because there's always a changing of the guard. There's always a chance that you might build a better relationship with somebody whereby they might feed you some of the work, or there's a lot of things out there that you need to just take into account when you're thinking about the industry you're going into, and keeping that income secure as well, because that is really important as well. And also, will you be committed in the hard times? Because you don't know whether you're going to be consistently making money all year round. You may have a good month, you may have a bad month. You may not make profit for 2 years like I did. And what do you do in that instance? Are you still going to be turning up every day? Are you still going to be picking up the phone? Are you still going to be motivated to sell, or to try and sell? Because if you're not, then there's no point in starting, because you don't want to have failed businesses under your belt. You want to start a company, you want to get it to profitability, and then you want to excel from there. So using that money to reinvest into, external salespeople, bringing people in to help you grow, maybe taking up one of the roles where they're feeding you leads, you're closing the leads, and then, they're becoming, you basically growing at double the rate at that point, hopefully, as long as you get somebody who's good at appointment setting. But yeah, being committed to it in the hard times is definitely a factor that you need to consider, because I don't know what your personal situation is. Have you got money? Let's say you quit your job and go full steam ahead on this business that you're thinking of setting up. What are you going to do when you run out of money? Are you going to go and get another job? Are you going to put this on the back burner and not be committed to, still turning up and growing the company? Because if that's the case, then maybe you need to reconsider how you're going to, leverage your current position in an employed role, and getting yourself from employed to self-employed, or, obviously a business owner, entrepreneur, because it doesn't happen overnight unless you've got a golden opportunity where somebody said, right, you set this business up, I'll give you a 6-figure contract tomorrow. That's rare. It's very rare. Like, you've got to really know a lot of people, be networked, and fall into the right place at the right time. It doesn't happen, really. So the thing you need to consider is the worst possible case scenario is, I might not make any money for the first 12 months to 2 years. And if that's the case, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to allocate my time to working on this. Is it going to be evenings and weekends? Is it going to be, full time? I don't know. You may have a lot of money. You may be able to fall back on your savings part, and that'll sustain you through the period of time to be able to get your business to where it needs to be. But yeah, that's all the stuff that I'd say you need to consider. Definitely learn sales, and considering the industry that you want to go into, it can vary. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're committed to learning the hard part, which is sales, to sell the product and services to customers that are willing to pay for it.